Hey Garni, I want to address something with you guys. It's come to my mind in the last 24 hours. I posted a clip that was on my Patreon for a week. It was the one where I got bitten by a bee. Got bitten on my thumb here, and it was 10 days ago. And I was in two minds whether I should show it to you, because it had me expressing my pain, and which I was in a lot of pain because it damaged a nerve in there. Hopefully it's not permanent nerve damage. And I got a few really cool comments of people like, supportive and the rest of it, but I also got negative comments, like harden up or toughen up go home. One guy said, you're better than this theatrical shit. Someone else said, I can't really remember, there was a few of them, more than usual. And I thought about this, and I thought I'd make a clip about it for people out there that suffer this sort of the people who make these comments aren't bad people, and they're just not thinking, and it's also to do with their upbringing. I'm actually drinking Kefir right now because I've stripped the lining of my stomach. That's another story. That really helps. Excuse me. Right, let's kick it in the guts. So one guy said, I thought you were a hard bastard. How do you define hard? That'll do. No barking. That'll do, Bigsy. How do you define hard? Let's look at the last 2 years of my life. I had a serious cancer, 2 tumours, advanced outside of the capsule of the prostate into my system. It's 57 kilogram. I was in a wheelchair for a while. I lost so much blood, my hemoglobin went to 66. Normally at 80 you have blood transfusion. I didn't and couldn't because of the infection I also had, which just about killed me. And I managed to pull myself out of that and survive, and I've been in rehabilitation with pain you wouldn't believe. I don't think I'm hard, but I think I'm a survivor, and part of surviving is you've got to be hard at times. So that brings up the question, what's hard? Well, hard is when you've got to step up and be hard. Now, the people that made those comments are probably people very similar to me. You probably grew up with a father, like I grew up with, that said, men don't cry, and you were, from a very young age, encouraged to not show your emotion. There's a wee problem with that, though, and we're seeing the problem now in society around us, particularly with the younger generation, and I hope this young generation is going to do better than my generation as far as it goes, particularly with men. Because you either express an emotion or you repress it. And we all know that if you repress any emotion, whether it's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, in my case, you become sicker, you become worse. A lot of cancers, heart disease, mind problems like, depression, anxiety, come from suppressed feelings that haven't been let out. So, I want to dig a little deeper on this. 3 weeks ago, I ate some berries and they stripped the lining of my stomach, and I've been battling with stomach problems since. But on top of that, I had some family problems. Actually, outside of the family, I had a member very sick, and also inside the family. And I had these two things I was trying to balance up. And for me, and I don't know about you guys, and I think you relate, often emotional things, that gut feeling, when it goes bad, your digestion doesn't work properly. And so that combined with that stripped my stomach, and I couldn't keep food down. I had diarrhea and vomiting for pretty much for 3 weeks. The last 2 days have been good. I've just had a meal now after 48 hours of fasting because I couldn't keep food down. This is really rare for this to happen to me, and most of the time I keep the lid on things pretty good, but just like you, I'm fallible. So anyway, I had this hunt booked for some young guys and took them out and didn't want to let them down. I shouldn't have gone because I was sick already and I hadn't kept food down. Information I didn't share with anybody, didn't think it was necessary to. And then on top of that, I got bitten on my thumb. Now let me tell you about being a musician. Every day I use these things. They are highly sensitive. If you're a guitar player, and a good guitar player who does a lot of finger picking, and I'm talking strumming, but intricate stuff, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're a piano player, you'll know what I'm thinking about. If you get those digits damaged in any way, the first thing that goes through you is, oh my God, I won't be able to play music again. If it's your livelihood, this has a huge emotional effect on you. But also, they're highly sensitive, your fingers, compared to someone who's just physically doing hard yakka all day, like swinging off a hammer, which they get hardened up. Your fingers actually are used like this. So when you get them injured, the pain is through the roof. On the other hand, you can feel things a lot better and you're more sensitive. You combine that there with me having not kept food down for a couple of weeks, pretty low energy, and trying to contain it. Now I put that video of me, like, you know, I threw up, well actually dry reached to, just because I hadn't been keeping stuff down, and I was as pale as a ghost, and shock set in. You could tell how white I was. I showed it to my patrons first, because they get everything first, and I got really positive feedback. And I was in two minds to put it on to public, because I knew there'd be a barrage of, you know, harden up. You know, one guy said, take a cup of concrete. What you meant, mate, was take a teaspoon of cement and harden up, not a cup of concrete, because that's already hard. You can't eat that. Anyway, I knew that would come, but I wanted to use this opportunity for all you other people out there that have the thing going on your mind to criticize somebody else before you know the whole picture of their life. I've told you what led up to that and why I was not handling it so well. I chose to not edit that out. I chose to share my vulnerability with you. I chose to show you my weakness, for the simple reason that a hell of a lot of young guys follow me and they put me up on a pedestal, and I wanted to show those guys that just like everybody else, I hurt. Emotionally, mentally, physically, however you want to paint it, I hurt. And when I hurt, I express it. And if you don't think that's a manly thing to do, then you try repressing it and see how long your life goes on the right track. You will get sick. You will suffer. On the whole, I'm a happy, balanced person that contributes back into society, back into my community. I give a lot of energy out because I'm looking after myself most of the time, because I don't repress what I'm feeling. If you think that it's being hard's good and closing down what you're feeling, not expressing, whether it's pain or anything, or laughter or anything, you look at some of the cultures that do repress their feelings. Look at Japan. Fantastic culture, wonderful people. Their suicide rate is up there. You know, during the war, they would commit hara-kiri rather than, you know, say, I've lost, I'm wrong. Man is prepared to fight and die for a cause, but he's not prepared to give up the cause of his suffering. He holds on to it, and that's what makes him sick. You've got to let it go. You've got to express it. You've got to let it out. Being hard, you're hard when you die. That's when rigor mortis sets in. So save being hard for when you're dead, when you're gone. While you're here, soften up a bit, loosen up, express yourself, and be man to own your frailties and your vulnerabilities. You know, say, hey, listen, I'm struggling here, or I hurt here, and this hurts. You know, stand up and take it. What are you scared of? You know, what are you fearful of to show? I don't think there's any merit in being hard. All the people I know that try to be hard all fucking suffer. They all do. They have anxiety, they have depression. All the people have tried to put on this facade of, you know, I'm bulletproof. They suffer. It's okay to sometimes say, I'm hurting. It's okay to let out your pain. And if you have something that's as bad as this, and the nurse says there's possible permanent, nerve damage in that joint, and I still can't close it properly after, I can go like this, but I can't. It's still a tiny wee hole. You look at that there in the video and go, oh, fuck, Clay's making a whole lot of noise about nothing. If you look up the most common cause of death worldwide, I'm not talking first world countries because we're only a tiny minority, I'm talking the whole entire world. Blood poisoning, septicemia, it kills more people every year than anything else overall. And do the stats, you know, check it, Google it, and do some real research. Where does that septicemia come from? Most of the time, it comes from a hole smaller than that on my thumb. Most of the time, it's the tiniest minuscule hole you can't even see that a mosquito makes. And that's where the blood poisoning gets in. A tiny wee mosquito bite, gets infected when someone scratches it. Next minute, blood poisoning spreads through the body, dead. So a little wee dog bite like that, which is now just a tiny little hole on my thumb, can actually, well, it's healed up now, can actually kill you. So don't judge so harshly next time you see someone else other than me. You see someone else who's got an injury that you think, oh, it's nothing. You don't know what their pain is. Their pain is their business, not even your business. You can't say, oh, that shouldn't hurt, because you don't know. Because, you know, all pain goes on between that little bit of jelly between your ears. It's what you feel. And to one person, what might be nothing, and another person, it may be absolutely excruciating. You know? So just think a little bit about next time you tell someone to harden up. That's my message, and I wanted to make a video out of this particular message on pain, because there's a lot of people out there struggling and being judged. And I want you guys to know that I hear you. If you say to me your pain's a 10 and I can't see even a mark on you, I believe you. If you're feeling a 10, if you're expressing that, then let it out. because holding on to it's just going to make you more sick. Today I go hunting and I express it through music, and I also express it like talking to you right now and speaking my truth without fear of being judged, without fear of someone going, it's fucking bullshit, without fear of what other people think, because you can take these words or you can leave them, or you can, and you should leave some of them words. You should take what's good for you. But it's really important for all of us to express ourselves. And in doing this, we all come to the realization that we're all pretty much bloody the same, to some degree or another. We're pretty much got the same basic thing. We want to be validated in what's going on in our lives. We want to be cared for, and we want to care for somebody. And we want to be loved, and we want to love. And all that comes from expression, not repression. That's my clip today. Good luck with your own world. Be good. If you can't be good, be careful. See you later. I'm going to drink the rest of this kefir. It's not bad stuff. Yum. It's actually bloody good. Quite like to get another bottle of that and just have fun. Time to walk dogs again.